The Pokemon market is skyrocketing, climbing so much that it's hard for the everyday person to actually get some Pokemon products for themselves. How's it going, y'all? I'm Noah with Pokeplane, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some of the kind of premier products that I've seen in Pokemon that have just been shooting up way, way too high. First thing we're going to be talking about is the Prismatic Evolution Booster Bundle display. This is something that was recently kind of brought to my attention. These booster displays are honestly, they're at a pretty insane price right now. They're currently on the marketplace for $1,500, which is really, really insane, actually. The current price for a Prismatic Evolutions booster bundle is just $75. So for a sealed booster bundle display to be selling for $1,500, that means that the case premium on that is 100%. It's worth double, or at least it's selling for double the actual value is if it's just in its individual kind of like booster bundle displays, which is honestly really insane. And that's something that your average day person just can't get a hold of. It's just not economical. It's better, honestly, to just get 10 loose booster bundles for Prismatic Evolutions than it is to buy the booster bundle display. I know there's a premium that comes with sealed product, but a premium where you can have twice as many loose booster bundles or just 10 that are all bunched together in the booster bundle display, to me, it's a no-brainer. The next item we're going to be talking about is the Charizard UPC cases. Those have actually been on a really been climbing very recently. So they were pretty high when they initially came out, which is to be expected. And over the course of the past 2 to 3 months, they've still kind of gone down. They've settled not quite MSRP, but pretty close around like the 125, 130-ish range, sometimes 120. So that's been a really, really good price. However, recently they have started to continue to climb up and up and up more. So just last week, or a couple weeks ago, you were able to purchase a sealed case of the Mega Charizard XEX UPCs for around $480 to $500, which is pretty close to market value. It's about $120 per each UPC. Not really much of a market price, or correction, not really much of a sealed premium. However, since then, within the past week, it has just been steadily climbing as well. As of right now, those Charizard UPC cases are selling for around anywhere from like $650 to $700. Sometimes you can find slightly better deals on places like the Shopify app and stuff like that, checking out various stores, but those are also going to charge you like tax and stuff like that. Same for eBay. And honestly, there's not that many that are at that kind of 700 mark range either. Like, just looking over at TCG Player, there are currently 4 listed. The first one is 720. So yeah, about where we expected, about where the market value says it is right now. However, once that one sells, the next one listed on TCG Player is $800. And then once that one sells, the next one that's listed is $1,000, which is insane. It's almost doubled from the kind of 500 that it was sitting at to just 3 more kind of sell on TCG Player, and it's going to shoot up towards 1,000 unless more people ask it to the market, which is always possible. But still, even with that, the fact that it has gone from 500 to around 700, 720 right now, that's a pretty big climb in the past couple weeks, especially for a product like the UPCs, where we thought it was going to stay low for a long while. There is supposed to be, I think, I can't remember where it was that I heard it or where I saw this metric, but I remember hearing about 3 million of those UPCs were supposed to be printed and created for sale in the market. Now, I don't know how much of that 3 million we've gone through. We have had about 2 to 3 months where Pokemon's been able to steadily, pump these into the market and for people to get their hands on them. Big things I can think of are like the buying it from Costco for that kind of 2-pack bundle that they had, and then Target has been listing quite a few of them as well. So I don't know how close we're to the 3 million, but just the fact that it is now kind of stopped its level off at around $480, $500, and it starts steadily increasing up to like the 720 that is right now. It's just, if this trend keeps up without more being introduced to the market, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that closer to $800, $900, $1,000 as we get towards the end of the year, which is pretty insane. Next one I want to talk about, which is pretty obvious, honestly, is the Destined Rivals booster box. Those were holding steady at 400 for a long while, and then they rose up to like the 700, and they've kind of settled down a little bit since then. From a couple of weeks ago, they kind of settled down to the 550-ish mark, I believe. Let's check that out real quick. Yeah, it has settled a little bit to like the 550-ish mark, but still, for a booster box that is still pretty new to the scene, it hasn't been out for a full year. I know it's the number 1 set. It's very hype, and honestly, I really enjoy that set as well. I think, like a lot of people do, that Destined Rivals is the number 1 mainline set for the Scarlet and Violet era, but still, the fact that it hasn't even been out for a full year, it's a little not surprising, but I guess insane that it is holding its value so well and continuing to slowly increase around the 550 mark. And honestly, it's going to go up even higher if we don't get any booster box reprints sometime in the near future. Like, yeah, it might be at 550 right now, but I wouldn't be surprised, especially if we don't get any reprints of the booster box this year, for it to shoot up to $6, $7, $800. Who knows? Maybe even more. I don't know, but it's a set that everyone loves. The wide consensus everyone seems to have is that Destiny Rivals is the best mainline set in the Scarlet and Violet era, and the price is just going to keep increasing unless we get more introduced to the market. The last one I kind of want to talk about, though it's not as expensive as these past that we've seen, is the Phantasmal Flames booster box. The Phantasmal Flames booster box, again, relatively new set, came out, it's been out for like 3-ish, 4-ish months at this point. And for that set, it's just, it was holding steady around like the 220 to 250 range after it was first released, and it's now recently continued to climb up even more and even more. I think the Phantasmal Flames booster boxes are currently sitting at just over $300, if not at $300. So it's holding its value really well, and it hasn't really seen any like kind of the downturns, just holding steady at that lower level that a lot of the other booster box sets have kind of displayed as they've come out and kind of stayed on the market over time. And that's honestly pretty surprising considering that the big reason why it's really popular is the Gold Charizard and especially the Charizard SIR. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Charizard SIR is beautiful. Seen it in person, same for the Gold Charizard. They are amazing things, and it just kind of shows how time and again, even if you have sets that only have like, one really big chase card that everyone wants, if it's a Charizard or one of those really popular Pokemon like that, that is enough in order to carry a set into higher and higher prices. And we're seeing that with Phantasmal Flames. Who knows in the future how much more is going to keep climbing from that, but a lot of people are thinking, as am I, that we are going to start entering a bull run for Pokemon. And so if that does happen, I wouldn't be surprised if Phantasmal Flames continues to shoot up even more. As is right now for me, I'm personally not looking to purchase any more Phantasmal Flames for my own personal collection. I am looking, if I find a good deal, for purchasing some Phantasmal Flames in order to list on my store, link down below. On my website, I currently have 2 Phantasmal Flames listed for $265, so about 10% under market, just because I was able to get it early on. For me personally, I'm not looking to purchase any more Destiny Rivals from my own personal collection. I have the 2 that are, you can kind of see it, I'm not pointing very well, but that are kind of on display behind me, and I'm fine with that. Even though, again, it's the number 1 mainline set, I really, really like it, really enjoy it. I'm not looking to get any more for my own personal collection. The price point for $600 or $550 right now is honestly just a little bit too high, and while it is a really great set, I'd rather use some of my money in order to get additional products that I have a lot of faith in as well. Now, it's not all doom and gloom in the sense that, yeah, prices are skyrocketing and it's starting to get out of hand for the normal person to be able to purchase. There are some things that people can still get their hands on that haven't really skyrocketed as much as some of these other ones that we've seen. The really big one that sticks out in my mind, and something I really believe in, is Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks, I think, is a great set. In my opinion, it's the second best set in the Scarlet and Violet era, just behind Destiny Rivals. Again, we're talking mainline sets, not specialty sets, because if we're talking specialty sets, Prismatic Evolution's at the top. But yeah, so it's the second best mainline set in the Scarlet and Violet era, and honestly, its prices are holding pretty well right now. I know it was at $300 for a little bit, and it went down when the first reprint for the Surging Sparks booster boxes released. And then since then, it started slowly climbing back up. It got to like 220, 230, 240, 250 after it crashed from 300 down to 220. And then once it got to like the 250 mark, it'd be kind of holding steady there for a while. And then we had another reprint for the Surging Sparks on the Pokemon Center. And initially, that didn't seem to really bring the price down. The price continued climbing up to 260, 270, 280. I think the highest it got to was 282. But since then, it's actually kind of corrected back down to 250. And so I think that's a really good price point in order to purchase Surging Spark set, especially if you're at the same opinion as me, that it's the second best mainline set in Scarlet and Violet. And so for me, I'm looking to purchase and acquire more of those. I already have 5 of them, and I went ahead and bought a Surging Sparks booster box case as well. That way we could have another 6 on the way, and just kind of dip my toes a little bit into having the sealed booster box case for that. The sealed booster box case for it, honestly, Some listings have it where you have a 10% premium, but there are other listings out there, some that you can even find on TCG Player, where the premium is $50 for it being a sealed booster box case, which honestly, I'll take that any day. Having little to no premium at all for a sealed case, especially one that is as strong as Surging Sparks is, I think makes it a really good deal to get. Though, who knows how that's going to change in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing a lot more of these Pokemon sets start kind of increasing in value and start skyrocketing and follow the same tune as the ones I talked about earlier. But yeah, that's all I want to talk to you about today. Just talk to you a little bit about the state of the Pokemon market, how I've noticed some of these products have increased and increased to where starting to get outside of a normal person's price range, especially if you're trying to get a lot of quantities of those in order to just like rip and enjoy. And so I just wanted to make a video about that just in case there's some people that weren't tracking. Because I know for me personally, where it concerns the Prismatic Evolution Boosted Bone display, I was not tracking that whatsoever until a couple of days ago. And honestly, it was pretty shocking to me when I saw that, hey, that sealed product has a premium of 100% over, you know, the loose booster bundle value of that. But anyway, if you like this video, please give it a like. Please leave a comment down below and please subscribe. It really, really helps a lot. And if you're in the market for some sealed Pokemon products for a discount or for some singles for a discount, please check out my TCG Player Pro Store in the link down below and check out my website, Pokeplane. I got some really good deals there and I think y'all would really enjoy that. But as always, I'm Pokeplane. Thanks for tuning in and I hope to catch all of y'all next time. See ya!